and talk about your formative years as an actor in New York.
Yeah.
And this is Pete Koch. We're breaking it down with Elizabeth Greer. All right? Don't go away.
Awesome.
Hey, Pete Koch here, breaking it down with friend Elizabeth Greer, and she is one heck of an actress and an interesting person. She has been in the acting game. Well, how old were you when you started?
That's a really good question. So I started, it wasn't professionally, but in third grade, I knew that I wanted to be an actress. And I wrote a play called The Queen of Hearts, starring myself.
What do you know?
As the queen, with a giant heart on my head. And I just remember being on stage and looking down and seeing my parents' faces just sort of like so surprised and amused. And I remember thinking, this is home. This is where I need to be.
Incredible. That's such a great memory and a great story. So when did it get...
Professional?
Yeah, I guess serious.
Yeah.
Early.
So early. So let's see. I was in New York City, and I knew that I wanted some real training. And my parents helped me to find a place called the Lee Strasberg Institute, the Young People's Program. It's still there. Yeah. I think the YPP, the still the Lee Strasberg Institute for Young People. So I was 16. And I started studying with some of the master teachers there, and I knew this was for me.
Right away.
Right away. And then in high school, I remember I won some sort of monologue competition, got some prize for that, and that's when I knew that, I wanted to start auditioning for colleges, that I wanted to be an acting major. There was nothing else for me. So that's always scary. Because when you're auditioning for colleges, it's not just your grades, it's your audition that's gonna be everything. And ironically, I now coach actors for those very auditions for colleges.
Well, let me take the audience back, because I think folks are really interested in the process of what it takes to get into a top tier drama university or a drama program within a top tier university. And it's a monologue process?
It's a monologue process. And so I auditioned for a bunch of schools, including New York University, Tisch School of the Arts, where I ended up landing. And I ended up getting placed at the Stella Adler Institute, because within NYU are maybe 12, 15 studios. They're all different. And they end up placing you where they think you might fit best. And I ended up getting placed at Stella Adler, where I got to, have the once-in-a-lifetime experience of training with Ms. Adler before she passed away. So that was incredible. But yes, it is a monologue process. So what do you need to do? You need to get, depending on the school, anywhere between 1 and 3 monologues. All the schools are different. Some will ask for 1, some will ask for 2 contrasting. Sometimes they need you to see a third piece if they're still not sure. And the process for that is pretty intense, because they're auditioning thousands of people a year, and they can only take so many people. So it's almost like doing a one-person show. It's really interesting. You get your monologues, your pieces down, so that you can present them.
You have a little bit of knowledge about this. As some of my audience understands, I've worked with Benicio del Toro for 8 years. I've been his personal trainer, right? I can't believe that long.
So amazing.
And he was, and this might be interesting to folks, he was an undergraduate student at UC San Diego.
Sure, another excellent program. Yeah.
But he didn't, but he was an undeclared major, but he took a theater class. And at that time, the professor offered up to the students an opportunity. They said, listen, this is open to you. If you were really serious about where you want to go, that Stella Adler has, at that time she was splitting her year. Half the year she was in New York and half the year she was in LA. But she has a school and a program in LA, and they offer 3 scholarships per year. And there was umpteen thousand people auditioned for this. I think it was 4,000 people, he said, and I think it was 3 spots available. And Benicio thought, this is an interesting challenge for me, and he had to prepare 3 monologues and he got himself a scholarship. He dropped out of school.
3 monologues.
Dropped out of school and moved to LA, and then later spent time in New York City for a chance to study again with her. But let me ask you this: was Stella Adler, was she part of the faculty, or did you go to her school and study off campus?
That's a really good question. So, when you are a BFA, a Bachelor of Fine Arts at Tisch, and they decide which studio you're going to be put in, it is part of under the Tisch umbrella. So the Stella Adler Institute, which at the time was on 57th Street, City Center, was where I went every day through NYU for all of my acting classes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, later, Benicio, I know, spent time in New York City, and I was not Stella, but he wanted some additional and different training.
Sure.
And that's where he spent a summer in a class working with a cohort of yours, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's right. Yeah, he was at undergrad with me at NYU. Isn't that unbelievable?
And I wonder where you might have been in that class too, or across paths with Benicio. I wish I could recall the name of the program that he was studying where he worked with Hoffman at that time.
Sure.
Nonetheless,
there's so many studios. I don't know that Philip was in Stella Adler. He might have been in Circle in the Square. I'm not sure.
It.
Okay,
that was it.
That's what I think it was. Sure. So we all, and then NYU, you all get to go and see each other's work at different studios. Really, really interesting. That's an incredible program where I did my undergrad.
You have been acting in Los Angeles and Hollywood for a decade more now.
Yeah.
And I wish you could, for our audience, compare and contrast the experience of being an actor that comes out of all this years of formal training. When we go back, after NYU, it was grad school.
Correct, the Yale School of Drama.
The Yale School of Drama. So you get your master's in fine art there. During this span of time, I looked it up, right? You did how many plays?
Too many plays. Did anyone ever? Maybe 60 productions.
60.
Crazy.
It says 70 on mine. Not bad.
That's just more than anyone should ever spend their time in.
So you do 70 plays, and did you, and I'm interested in this, by the way, it's this phenomenal level of formal training, and you're just such an amazing resource, and we're going to get into your coaching here in a little bit, but just an amazing resource for those aspiring to be actors at any level. But after grad school, now it's time to see if you can really capitalize.
That's a great point.
Right?
That's a great point. That's
what happens
right.
then?
That's such an interesting point. So I think what's tricky is that an actor can go ahead and train at theater schools, be it that they're at a Bachelor of Fine Arts program, or that they're in a master's program, or that they're just simply at a theater school in New York City. And you get that initial wonderful training where you get to go on a journey as a character. The character has a beginning, middle, and end. That's the difference, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. So let's say you're playing Martha in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. You have a journey, right? It's not only of the play and telling the story of the play, but a whole journey of your character with a real beginning, middle, and end. Now, once you get to Hollywood, unless you were very, very lucky, your journeys might be much smaller. Let's say you're going out for a guest star, where it is anywhere between 3 and 10 pages. That character, sure, has a journey within the episode, but it's not the same as having a 2-hour journey in a play. So that's one of many adjustments.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, many of those skills, the projection, the taking of the stage, the learning of the gravitas, all of that is involved in theater school. But then the trick is, how do you adapt to on camera, which is, I think, a different art of acting. It's obviously the difference between playing to a huge stadium versus the microphone being literally on you.
Did you have any on-camera training in at the university level.
Right.
Did you?
They only had minimal training, and I'm a big advocate of them trying to incorporate more. There, it was minimal. People had to really seek that outside, as I did.
So to learn and make those adjustments, and they are significant adjustments.
Right.
One from playing to the playing to the
Back of the house.
back of the
right.
house, all the way to the camera's right here. It's very
Major
very intimate.
adjustment, right.
Major adjustments, and this is stuff you got to figure out on your own.
Right, that's right. And a lot of kids, myself included, come out here from theater school and spend the first year just making a lot of mistakes because you're still trying to figure out. I mean, a great way to learn is on the set, and I was learning stuff on the set. I was learning stuff in some minimal on-camera classes, but I think that you got to be the actor that can adjust so quickly to your surroundings and what's going on. And as soon as you got to match who you're playing against, you got to match the tone of the show. You got to really listen to the director, and you soon learn immediately that you're going to have to adjust everything for the intimacy of the camera.
I'm getting ahead because the work that you've done, and I neglected to talk about this at the beginning. Most recently, you've worked appeared as a co-star and a guest star in shows like Ray Donovan, Bates Motel, West Wing, The Shield, Charm. Just goes on and on. Countless web series. In fact, Elizabeth
We got to work together.
Had a chance to work together
on a wonderful web series called The Reveal.
The Reveal, and we'll shout out to John. I was thinking
Lacey,
of John Lacey,
writer-director John Lacey,
who as a director likes to reinforce the confidence in a sense with his actors and say, remember, it's right in here. It's all in here, and it's all in the eyes.
That's right.
But when you're on stage and there's 12,000 in the audience, it's not
correct
here anymore.
It's head to toe.
Right.
Right.
Was there a point where you needed to decide if you wanted to be a stage actor versus really trying to make your mark as a film and television actor?
That's such a good question.